Detroit Let's Talk 2018 election edition. And if you don't know, listen, August the 7th, Tuesday. Today is the 22nd. So we got like another week before the election jumps off. Super Tuesday is what I call it. And we need to be on board for the primary. I already told you the importance of the primary. If you don't know, I'm gonna run it to you again, and we're gonna get off into what it is exactly that a state representative does. Now, you must vote in the primary because in the primary is where we choose the winner for the general election, basically. If you lead the primary with enough votes, you can easily slide through as the winner in the general election. The problem with the primary is a lot of people think that the primary is not that important, when in fact, that's what the outsiders want you to think, that the primary isn't important, and they're banking on the fact that they're gonna put their racist, biased, gender-hating, race-slandering candidate in that position because you're gonna stay home on August 7th. They're banking on it. They're not even putting money into campaigns because they believe strongly that you believe so strongly that the primary is not that important of a factor that you should be in that process also. That's why the primary is important. Now, your state representative. Here's a man or woman who runs for a position that pays a little over $75,000 a year, plus a state vehicle, little perks, woody why. Now, the state representative serves for 2 terms, then he or she must run again for another 2 terms, then he or she, if they want to keep their position, think that they're being effective in that position, they will run again for another 2 terms, and then that's it. Normally when a state representative cascades through the House of Representatives with 3 terms on their back, it's no problem for them to become the senator in their particular district, which is the next position up over the state representative. The state representative, as you can see, I brought it up on my screen. The state representative, in a nutshell, introduces legislation, and they do a lot of other little duties on the side, but unless you are astute in what's going on politically, the only thing you know about a state rep is that they introduce legislation. Well, the senators introduce legislation as well. Yes, the state reps all together, they have some power if they come together. Here's the thing about the state rep, is that here's a position that it almost takes 4 years to really get your feet wet and know what you're doing when you're up there in that Capitol. Now, if you feel as though that the person who is asking you to be your state rep or continue to let them be your state rep is credible, here's some things you need to know and understand why you think they are credible. 1, do you know what legislation is? Legislation has a lot to do with the laws. When you get pulled over by the police and you say to yourself, this is some stupid shit. Well, somebody just like you or me was able to introduce that legislation, that idea, to a governmental body who had the power to say, we like it, let's make it a law. Every law on the books was introduced by a state rep, a governor, a senator, a lobbyist. A lobbyist, that's the person who goes to the politician with a bag of money to persuade them to go the way of them and their boss. That's all a lobbyist is. They get paid to persuade that state rep to always introduce ideas that reflect that bag of money and where it comes from. They're gonna say it don't happen, they're a damn lie. Listen, your state rep also is a notary. They had the power to do a lot of things. So what I have before me is state representative job description. We're gonna see what this is. The overview, the state representative is the local presence of the American Adoption Congress. The AAC is an important and valuable brand in adoption reform, and all state reps should be familiar with the policies and position of the AAC before assuming this important role. So we already see that once a state rep is elected to represent you in the state legislature, they're not really there to represent you first. It says here that it is important that they understand the American Adoption Congress. The ACC is an important and valuable brand in adoption reform, and all state reps should be familiar with the policies and positions of the ACC before assuming this important role. But wait a minute, what about the will and the wishes of the people? So right here, they have a link. I'm gonna highlight it. If you want to know where this is at, this is on AmericanAdoptionCongress.org. There it is, a little bigger. The state representative. So now we know that when they tell you, I'm going there for you, I'm gonna be there for you, I'm gonna do something for you, we know underline there's a watchdog that has them in check, and they are called the American Adoption Congress. And they have a valuable brand, and they are important and valuable brand in adoption reform, and all state reps should be familiar with the policies and positions. Okay, now, ACC state reps are incredibly valuable to the organization. So I'm assuming this ACC is sort of like a union. They serve as the liaison to the local communities and to individual states in a number of critical areas. Membership, legislation, and education are the three primary areas where state reps can make a big impact within their local, state, and communities. The job description includes suggestions for ways that you can contribute in your state. Now listen, let's go back here. Membership, legislation, and education are the three primary areas where the reps can make a big impact. So if membership and legislation, well, we gotta find out what membership means, because it's a comma right there. So membership can't mean legislation, and it can't mean education, because it implies with that comma there that that's something totally different. So let's just pick education before we go to legislation. They can make a big impact in the education arena. Why is it that all of these state reps and the promises they make, Detroit public schools has been literally obliterated? Where, and that should be a question that you should ask your state representative, where's your impact on education? Now, I understand that because in Detroit, all state reps keep telling us, how many white legislators up there, all they legislators are against them and they can't get nothing through. Well, nigga, if you can't get nothing through, then why are we even putting you up there then? Where the ball's at? So, ask your state rep, where's your impact in education? And then you follow that trail, because their name is attached to the bills and the legislation that they introduced that will have an impact on your community's education. So since Detroit's public school has been bent over and done it too raw without any Vaseline 9-10 times, our state reps, according to this, have been nothing but failures in the state legislature in the one area that they unions say they can make a big impact in. State rep. Want that $78,000. Well, you want that 78 grand? What is your impact on education? What have you done to impact education positively? All right, let's go now. Let's see what's up with this. How do I become a ACC? Not how I become a state rep, because they say all state reps. Not how I become an ACC state rep. I mean a local state rep. How do I become an ACC? So this is apparently a membership page for state reps. So let's go to Michigan State Representative. Michigan State Representative. Let's see what this is. Michigan House of Representatives official site. Now, we just found out that they have a union. Didn't know that before. Welcome to the House of Representatives. Let's see what they say they do. Michigan Senate, legislature, governor, blah 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 blah. Fire representative. Okay, so let's go back up here. Representatives. So let me zoom in on this for you. Okay, so there are 110 representatives. Okay, I'm trying to find out what it is that the representatives do, so y'all can see this for yourself. Okay, the House is headed by the Speaker of the House, who makes committee appointments and designate which committees each representative will serve on. So once they get there, they got a person who's going to tell the person you elected to represent you what committee he think he should serve on. I don't like that already. More. Okay, this is the House leadership. So maybe I need to get a bit more specific with them. Okay, they don't have a search engine in here. So I'm gonna say job, because I want it specific. Job description of Michigan State. No, I'm gonna say state representative. I'm gonna say Michigan State representative. Let's see what that get us something. This is what we was on before. What is the job of the state rep? All right, here we go. State representatives, also known as congressmen and congresswomen, are elected officials who represent specific congressional districts within a state defined by population. Representatives are elected to 2-year terms, which I said. In this capacity, representatives are charged with presenting the best interests of their district in terms of introducing or supporting laws and amendments. So they are also being asked to support laws and amendments. So what are they being asked to support? And that's what you should ask your state representative. What laws and amendments have you supported? And what you do is you go to their legislature and you look those laws up and see if those laws made your life better or even worse. Or it might have been the best thing since sliced bread. But how do you know how to gauge what they do if you don't know exactly what it is they do? They also serve as political spokespeople for issues that are important to their state and district and are accountable to those they represent. Now, that's what it says, that they are accountable, but we know we got the little lobbyists there buying them off. You know, they only get $70-some thousand a year. It ain't like that's a lot of money. So you got some who may take some back alley deals. This is why you need to know their position on everything that we just covered. Because we can see, even though they just run for 2 years or be there for 2 years, within 2 years, they can mess some things up with with a litany of ideas that is not supported by the community that they serve. And the thing of it is if you look at the legislature and you see the laws and you see the way of the laws and how they go, that is a clear indication that your state rep or senator have been bought. Lock, stock, and barrel. Why? Because the wishes or their penmanship do not reflect the views, opinions, and wishes of the very people